with hope through the power of the Holy Spirit. I pray this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, please sound the chimes. Members will indicate their presence on the roll call machine. There being 93 members present, quorum is declared and the House is now open in session and ready to proceed. Next order of business is excuse of absent members. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the absent members be excused in accordance of the House rules.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules for the purpose of allowing members to co-sponsor bills and resolutions or to submit vote modifications and have filed the proper papers with the clerk to do so.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order of business is approval of the journal. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the journal from Thursday, January 29, 2026 be approved.
Without objection, the journal from Thursday, January 29, 2026 is approved. Next order of business is second reading of bills. Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 139 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Decker, an act relating to elections and declaring an emergency. House Bill 213 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Emily Callaway, an act relating to reemployment of retired police officers. House Bill 314 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Lockett, an act relating to the Kentucky Communications Network Authority and declaring an emergency. House Bill 356, Representative Bridges, an act relating to local government. House Bill 385, Representative Proctor, an act relating to state-operated mental health facilities. House Bill 388, Representative Duvall, an act relating to prescription drugs. House Bill 393, Representative Raymer, an act relating to services for Alzheimer's and related dementias. and House Bill 398, Representative Williams, an act relating to decommissioning costs for electric generating units.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is report of committees, there being no need. Next order of business is the orders of the day. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 144 would be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion made that House Bill 144 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon the floor for its passage. Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 144, an act relating to motor vehicle titles, Representative Huff.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Bullitt, the enrollment chair, for motion on the, for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Bullitt for an explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would ask that the clerk report the House Committee substitute to House Bill 144, please.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 144.
Gentleman from Bullitt.
Move adoption.
Motion made for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Bullitt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 144 is a very simple bill that allows the insurance companies to not have to forfeit the title for junk for cosmetic reasons. A perfect example of that is hail damage. Mr. Speaker, I move passage of House Bill 144 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, please.
Motion made for the passage of House Bill 144 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 41.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just have a quick question.
Here we yield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can you tell me how the sub is different from the original bill?
Gentleman from Bullitt.
The sub was added, the trial lawyers asked for that to be added in so that the insurance company would still be required to pay for the damage, but it really has nothing to do with the disposition of the vehicle or the title.
Lady from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Question for the body is on passage of House Bill 144 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, sound the chimes. Now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by voting yea on the roll call machine. Those opposed, nay. And the roll call machine is open for your voting. Have all members voted? Would any member like to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. There being 94 members voting yea, no members voting nay, House Bill 144, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, is passed. Gentleman from Bullitt.
Move for clincher.
Without objection, clincher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 3 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion made to House Bill 3 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon the floor for its passage. Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 3, an act relating to reimbursements for pharmacist services, Representative Neighbors.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the lady from Metcalf for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the lady from Metcalf for the explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to present House Bill 3. This is not new legislation. House Bill 3 simply ensures that Kentucky pharmacists are reimbursed by Medicaid for clinical services they are already authorized to provide, services they are already delivering, just as we already do under commercial insurance. Last session, the General Assembly required the Cabinet to study this policy. That report, submitted on August 1st, showed that states with this model either save Medicaid dollars or are trending towards savings, while improving access to care and health outcomes. House Bill 3 does not expand Medicaid. It does not expand the pharmacist's scope of practice. It does not create new services. It simply brings Medicaid into alignment with existing law. Implementation requires only administrative updates with a one-time cost of about $128,000, less than 0.1% of the Medicaid budget, and safeguards ensure that no action occurs without federal approval. With pharmacists in 119 counties, this bill improves access, lowers costs, and strengthens care, especially in rural Kentucky. Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move passage of House Bill 3.
Motion made for the passage of House Bill 3. Is there any discussion? Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 41.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have one quick question.
She will yield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for this good bill. And can you delineate some of the services that will be paid for that pharmacists are doing now? I know they do a lot of things that they don't get paid for, but if you could tell me a few of the things,
Lady from Metcalf.
might be helpful.
Yes, some of the services that they're already providing that Medicaid would reimburse them for under this bill would be things such as strep testing, immunizations, medication management, and things like that.
Lady from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I speak just briefly on the bill?
May proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is such an important bill because pharmacists sometimes do so many things, such as if you have 3 or 4 different medicines that may interact with each other, they can catch that. Because if you go into 3 or 4 different providers or folks that have written different prescriptions, they might not realize that they have effects on each other. So the pharmacist often will catch that and then prevent really a bad outcome. So I think this is a really good bill, and thank you for doing it. Thank you.
Question for the body is on passage of House Bill 3. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, sound the chimes and now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by voting yea on the roll call machine. Those opposed, nay, and the roll call machine is open for your voting. Have all members voted? Would any member like to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. There being 93 members voting yea, no members voting nay, House Bill 3 is passed. Lady from Metcalf.
Mr. Speaker, I move the clincher.
Without objection, clincher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 290 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion made to House Bill 290 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon the floor for its passage. Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 290, an act relating to county law libraries. Representative Wilson.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Whitley for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Whitley for an explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 290 is a very simple bill that we passed last year unanimously. The local county bar associations have tens of thousands of dollars in which they use to operate county law libraries. Currently, with those funds, they're able to buy books for legal research, and this bill would add electronic means of legal research. So that would give them the ability to pay for online subscriptions, computers, internet access, and things of that nature. So they're using their own money. They just want to be able to use it how they see fit. And with that, Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I'll move for passage of House Bill 290.
Motion made for the passage of House Bill 290. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, sound the chimes. Now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by voting yea on the roll call machine. Those opposed, nay. And the roll call machine is open for your voting. Have all members voted? Would any member like to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. There being 94 members voting yea, no members voting nay, House Bill 290 is passed. Gentleman from Whitley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the clincher.
Without objection, clincher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 84 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion made that House Bill 84 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon the floor for its passage. Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 84, an act relating to legal liability for local governments. Representative Roberts.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Boone, 66, for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Boone, 66, for an explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Mr. Speaker, House Bill 84 is a simple bill that just affirms the basic duty of the role of government to protect the public in their lives, their liberties, and their properties. There should be accountability when the government affirmatively refuses to do their job when they could have done so. Current law has a law to that effect. KRS 411.100 creates a civil cause of action that contains 5 elements. First, a riot must have occurred that resulted in injury or property damage. Second, the government had actual notice or good reason to believe that that riot was not just occurring but was about to occur. Third, the government had the capability and the means and the resources to prevent property damage. Fourth, the government not only failed but affirmatively chose not to engage in those protective measures. And fifth, the person whose property was damaged was an innocent bystander. They weren't egging on the riot, they weren't participating. So this does not reward individuals who affirmatively took place in this. This has been the law in light of this has been the law since the 1850s as a result of cases where riots did occur and people were left hanging as a result of it. But as of 2025, due to recent developments in our municipal law, the Supreme Court of Kentucky has held that Kentucky's 2 largest cities are exempt from this law. The statute does not state that, but it's just due to the complications of consolidated government. All that House Bill 84 does is level the playing field and makes clear that no matter where you live in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, that we take seriously our duty to protect your life, your liberty, and your property. And for that, I move passage for House Bill 84. And Mr. Speaker, will the clerk please report House Floor Amendment 1?
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 84.
Gentleman from Boone.
Mr. Speaker, all House Floor Amendment 1 does is add an emergency provision so that this bill can take effect upon it being enrolled into law. And for that, I move for passage of House Floor Amendment 1.
Motion made for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Gentleman from Fayette, do you wish to speak on the bill or the amendment?
The bill.
Lady from Jefferson, would you like to speak on the amendment? Question for the body is on adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. All those in favor, please signify. Roll call having been called for. We will now proceed to vote. Mr. Clerk, sound the chimes. All those in favor, please signify by voting yea on the roll call machine. Those opposed, nay. And the roll call machine is open for your voting. Have all members voted? Clerk will take the roll. There being 81 members voting yea, 8 members voting nay, House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Boone.
Mr. Speaker, I move passage of House Bill 84 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1.
Motion made for the passage of House Bill 84 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette, 79.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been called a lot of things, but lady's not one of them.
I apologize. The lady from Jefferson. I apologize. The lady from Jefferson was
That's
next.
all right. I'll take it as a promotion this
Gentleman
morning.
from Fayette.
With the esteemed gentleman from Boone, yield to a question.
Here we you.
Yeah. Well, I just want to share part of our conversation. So, we've been discussing this bill. He let me know graciously that we was going to vote on it this morning. And I think one of the things that I want to point out, if I understand it correctly, and this is my question, that every other city and county in the Commonwealth today, no matter their size, no matter how many people they have, Murray, Owensboro, Bowling Green, Paducah, Pikeville, and the counties are all held liable today under this current statute, except for Lexington and Louisville. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Under current law, every city is currently liable except Lexington and Louisville. Yes, unless you're in unincorporated land where there is no city.
Okay. Would the gentleman yield to a follow-up question?
Here with you.
So if I'm understanding that correctly, just really puts everybody under the same standard, the same playing field due to a couple of Kentucky Supreme Court rulings in the past. Is that correct?
Gentleman from Boone.
That is correct. This bill simply makes it to where no matter where you live, your government has the same obligations to you in terms of protection for your property in the event of a riot.
Gentleman from Fayette.
May I speak on the bill?
You may proceed.
I'm going to vote for this bill today because I think everybody should be treated equally. I would encourage the Senate to leave this bill alone when it comes over there and make no changes because it's good as it is. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 41.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the gentleman yield to one question?
Here with you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, are the two ConC and Kentucky League of Cities supportive of your bill?
Gentleman from Boone.
So the Kentucky League of Cities has said that they have no opposition to this bill. They've been under the impression that the cities have been under this law since the 1850s, and it's not a new obligation. It's just applying it across the board. The Kentucky Association for Counties has expressed concern about it being extended to counties. However, I'm generally of the opinion that local governments should all be treated equally in terms of this. That said, the county issues of unincorporated land, that's not a deal breaker for me, and I've made that clear to them as well in terms of that. Though at the very least, whenever we look to the duty that is put in from it, is that, as Madisonville v. Bishop said, one of the objects of municipal government is better security of life and property where the population is crowded. Every city needs to be treated equally.
Lady from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, gentlemen.
Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette 75.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield to a question?
Here with you.
Could you first please tell me how many people it takes for there to be a riot?
Gentleman from Boone.
That is a fact-intensive analysis, but when it comes to it, it specifically mentions that it must be a riotous or tumultuous assembly, so clearly more than one. As to what constitutes a riot, that's one of those issues. Typically, when we're talking about one where the government has advanced knowledge, it's a lot of people for their advanced knowledge to get out.
Lady from Fayette.
Thank you. I think that I read somewhere a definition maybe was 5 people, but perhaps there is a debate there. Will the gentleman yield to another question?
Here with you.
Is there a fiscal impact statement for this bill?
Gentleman from Boone.
Mr. Speaker, I'm hopeful that no city government ever gets sued under this bill. I'm hopeful that this just reaffirms our ability to address these riots, and it sends the message that Kentucky is not a place for riots. So I would anticipate no fiscal impact as long as the local governments do their job and keep the public safe when there's a riot.
Lady from Fayette.
Will the gentleman yield to a question?
Here with you.
I'm just seeking clarification, please, on your answer. Is there a document I could look at called a fiscal impact statement?
Gentleman from Boone.
There is not.
Lady from Fayette.
Thank you. May I speak on the bill?
You may proceed.
I understand that there is a cleanup needed, and I'm not opposed to a cleanup that brings in Lexington and Louisville for civil liability when there's a failure to protect property. My issue with this bill is that it is opening an old chapter of the law and failing to take note of the way that the world has changed in the last nearly 200 years. This is a pre-Civil War law, and I think we really ought to ask ourselves, anytime we're going back that far into our own laws, what's changed, how has the world changed, and how can we make all the changes we need in this statute to respond to the 21st century. So when I look at this statute, which arguably is short and simple and easy to understand, it concerns me that we didn't take the common sense, from my perspective, opportunity to remove militia action. Now, it doesn't say the word militia in here, but just the other day, for those of you who are in judiciary, you may have heard an exchange where militia was defined as the people. No, wait, that was my misrecollection. That was here on the floor. The militia is the people acting in a group to preserve liberty. This bill says that people, citizens, should act in a group to defend other people's property. And when I pull back the camera and look at the 21st century, I see myriad examples of protests drawing counter-protesters, and that's the last thing that I want in Kentucky. I don't want to see our people fighting each other. I don't want to see a bloodbath anywhere in this state. I don't want any of my neighbors to feel that they have an objective responsibility to come out and bear arms against a riotous group who are, I'll even say, perhaps breaking the law. They may be peacefully demonstrating, but what if they are breaking the law? I don't want citizen vigilantes in Kentucky. I want law enforcement. I want the people who are trained. I want the people who know how to de-escalate to protect my property. It really concerns me that we haven't taken stock of the rest of the words in the bill to make it better. And so until we can eliminate the requirement for citizens to go out and defend others' property, then I can't be in support of the bill. Furthermore, there already exists rights of action under civil law for someone who has been aggrieved by another person to go get damages for what they've done to the property. So why do you need to sue a city when the city didn't break your stuff? The rioters broke your stuff. And you should sue them. You should sue them until you are made whole. That's what civil law is about. We have a way for people to be made whole. So I feel like this bill, I'll give a charitable assumption here. Let's say it is needed and it's a good fix. We can still make it better. And I think we should. So today, I can't be a yes. I do hope the Senate will make changes, because if the Senate changes this bill and eliminates vigilantism, militia action, self-defense by citizens against their neighbors, and instead puts it on the city government, local law enforcement, to protect my property, which is the way it is and should be, then that's an easy yes for me. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Boone 66.
Mr. Speaker, I feel that we need to close this debate with a reality check again. This bill changes no substantive law, but merely applies the law equally, no matter where you live. To this notion that a city government should not be held liable when they not only failed to stop a riot, but knew it was happening, had the means to do it, but chose not to anyway, is a slap in the face to every taxpayer in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We have government with the purpose of protecting the public, to protect their life, to protect their liberty, to protect their property. This bill, further, does not sanction vigilantism. The lines that she's speaking of is a line in regards to how to calculate the capability of the government to address it. It doesn't sanction vigilantism. It doesn't sanction people utilizing deadly force to defend property. It doesn't do any of the things that we have on this. That is rankly false. What this bill does is it ensures there is an avenue for recovery when the government fails its citizens. And just yesterday, a jury found the city of Seattle liable for the death of Antonio Mays Jr. for this exact failure. When rioters set up an autonomous zone, the mayor of Seattle directed their police department to evacuate that area and let them run rampant, and a teenage boy was killed. And there was an opportunity to save his life, but he died in the hospital because of the delayed response time as a result of that. This is to make sure that never happens in Kentucky ever again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette 76.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask the gentleman a question?
Here we you.
Okay. I am looking at section 3 on here, and it talks about, and I understand this is the existing law right now, but it does talk about whether authorities had notice or good reason to believe that a riot or tumultuous assembly was about to take place. How would that relate to reasonable cause? Sorry. What is the word I'm looking, the phrase I'm looking for? When law enforcement have a reasonable, my coffee has not kicked in yet this morning. A reasonable reason for thinking that how would that be defined, that we have a reasonable reason to suspect that there might be a riot pending?
Gentleman from Boone.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, there's case law addressing reasonable cause. Once again, though, I need to focus on what House Bill 84 does. This focuses on making clear that no matter what your zip code is, you are entitled to the same level of protection as every other entity. And to be clear, that is all this bill does. And a no vote on this bill, it's sending a message, but it's not the message you think it's sending. So voting no on this bill is a message that to the people of Lexington and to the people of Louisville that you believe they are less entitled to protection that residents of Covington, residents of Corbin, residents of Paducah, residents of Pikeville are all entitled to in this Commonwealth. That is all that a no vote does. So I would urge a yes vote to ensure that every Kentuckian is treated equally.
Lady from Fayette.
May I speak on the bill, please?
May proceed.
Thank you. I understand what the gentleman from Boone is saying, that this is about consistency across all jurisdictions. I actually 100% agree with that. However, when we start looking at bills, existing laws, it is also our job to clean them up. And so this bill is one, we know that there are so many regulations and laws on the books that they are not regularly reviewed. When we do, it is our responsibility to make sure that we get it right and clean it all up at the same time. So for me, the fact that it makes the law uniform across all jurisdictions, I'm very much in favor of that. What I would like the bill to do is to make things more clear. When we're talking about, things have changed a lot since 1850 and things beyond the composition of our government entities. So I would urge that if this does go through and that the Senate looks at it, that they look at additional cleanup language to make sure that we are not just applying the law evenly across jurisdictions, but that we are also applying it fairly and looking at what makes sense in 2026 rather than the 1850s. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Jefferson 42.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield to a question?
He will yield.
Gentlemen, I just have a question. Section 4, this is lines 19 through 22. And before I ask that, I just want to clarify my perspective here. I've worked in local government, specifically during a time where there are mass demonstrations. So lines 19 through 22, I read that as to believe that any individual that is participating in what would be described as this riot is not party to a claim, meaning they cannot make a claim against the city if they were found to participate. Is that an accurate interpretation?
Gentleman from Boone.
Gentlemen, that is 100% correct. If you are participating in this riot and your property gets damaged, that's on you.
Gentleman from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the lady from Mercer, 55.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I draw the members' attention to a note we have on our monitor?
May proceed.
Thank you. This may help answer the lady from 75's question. On the local mandate, the last paragraph says the fiscal impact of House Bill 84 is indeterminable but expected to be negative. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 43.
May I speak on the bill?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to be quiet. The gentleman says that he wants every city to be treated equally. And what I want is consistency. On this floor, continually, we treat Fayette and Jefferson differently. They have different rights than the rest of the counties. especially when it comes to the school systems. So we need to review this law and do all the things that people said about looking at it since it's been here since 1850 and make it consistent. You're either going to treat all the counties similarly or you're not. So to say if you vote no on this means you don't want citizens to have their rights is a false commonality. What it says is, I want the citizens of Fayette and Jefferson to be treated equally and to have the right to choose their own school boards and to make sure that they're represented fairly and not always taken advantage of by this body.
Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette 93.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask the sponsor a question?
Here with you.
Sponsor, I appreciate what you're trying to do in this bill. Was there a reason that you didn't want to go further in trying to update it to make sure that it is in alignment with current practices with what's happening in 2026? It just seems there's a lot of more work that could have been done to really make this a good bill.
Gentleman from Boone.
Mr. Speaker, to my recollection, the last time this case was cited beyond the 2025 Supreme Court decision was in the 1970s. We use old law all the time. Kentucky's had a ban on murder since it became a Commonwealth in 1792. The substance of this statute is fine. The problem with the statute is that we have exempted individual localities through our consolidation of governments, and that seems to be the only problem that I have with this bill. I think the 5 essential elements of this claim absolutely work and have a great method of ensuring accountability while also protecting governments from being liable for something that they simply couldn't prevent. So that's why I didn't make any further substantive changes.
Question for the body is on passage of House Bill 84.
Sorry, may I follow up?
Apologize. Go ahead.
Sorry, thank you. The last time that this statute was cited was June 21st of 2024, just to clarify.
You're correct. It was 2024,
yes.
not 2025.
Yeah.
My mistake. My apologies.
But may I ask another question, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
you may
you.
proceed.
One of my questions is, given what we've seen today, what if it's the federal government that is inciting the riot?
Gentleman from Boone.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think who is the participant or why the riot is occurring is relevant to this calculation. All it requires that a riot took place, that the government knew or had good reason to believe it was about to happen, that the government had the means to prevent the damage, fourth, that the government chose not to prevent the damage, and fifth, that the person who was injured was not a participant. That's all that it requires. So I don't see how the identity of the folks instigating the riot is relevant to this conversation at all.
Lady Fayette.
Thank you. May I just speak briefly on the bill?
May proceed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I disagree with what the gentleman from Boone has said. I think it's very important to determine who is inciting a riot, and I think it's important to know that our local governments may not have the power or ability to prevent actions by the federal government. Additionally, I have serious concerns about, just echoing what some of my colleagues have said, about the encouragement of vigilantism. We are seeing a rise in violence around the country right now, and I think the best thing that we could do is actually, should this bill pass, which I expect it will, my hope is that the Senate will address it and make sure that we are doing the things to keep our citizens safe, and that includes those who may think that they can act as vigilantes when in fact they're only creating more damage. So hopefully they'll address this once it hits their chamber. So thank you.
Question for the body is on passage of House Bill 84 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1. Mr. Clerk, sound the chimes. Now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by voting yea on the roll call machine. Those opposed, nay. And the roll call machine is open for your voting. Have all members voted? Would any member like to change or explain their vote? Chair recognizes the gentleman from McCracken 1.
Mr. Speaker, in explaining my vote, I vote yes, but I would encourage the members, particularly ladies and gentlemen from Fayette, be very careful. It's easy to confuse the Senate when we send them mixed messages.
Clerk will take the roll. There being 89 members voting yea, 6 members voting nay. House Bill 84 is amended by House Floor Amendment 1 is passed. Gentleman from Boone.
Mr. Speaker, will the clerk please report House Floor Amendment 2, the title amendment?
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 2, the title amendment to House Bill 84.
Gentleman from Boone.
Move adoption.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from Boone.
Mr. Speaker, I move the clencher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, that concludes the orders of the day.
Next order of business is the order of motions, petitions, communications, and announcements. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, would you have the clerk report any communications that we may have received?
Mr. Clerk, please report.
A petition of impeachment for Tyler Murphy, chairman of the Fayette Board of Education, was filed on January 30th, 2026.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, that is all I have for motions, petitions, communications, and announcements.
Any other members seeking recognition, motions, petitions, communications? Chair recognizes the gentleman from Carter, 96.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please ask the clerk to speak on a citation. If the clerk could please report citation 13 by title only.
Mr. Clerk, please.
Citation 13, Representative Flannery. Citation of commendation. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky hereby recognizes and honors Riley Fowler.
Gentleman from Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday we celebrated Suits and Sneakers Day, and by the looks of the gentleman from Taylor, I believe he's still celebrating that today. But yesterday was about bringing awareness and honor and memorializing those that have battled cancer, and I think it's fitting that today that we talk about a very young constituent of mine named Riley Fowler. He is 6 years old. He is the son of Abby and Dalton Fowler, and just courageously beat cancer. And he's a courageous young man. He's got a great future ahead of him, and really proud of him. And I think it's appropriate that we congratulate him and honor him, and just wish him the best moving forward, as hopefully he has a very long life of him. So if we give a round of applause to Riley Fowler. Mr. Speaker, I'd move adoption of the citation.
Without objection, so ordered. Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette, 76.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I act on a legislative citation, please?
May proceed.
All right. Would you please ask the clerk to report citation 015, please?
Mr. Clerk, please report.
Citation 15, Representative Donworth. Citation of adjournment. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky does hereby adjourn this legislative day in loving memory and honor of Stephen Arthur Sanders.
Lady from Fayette.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to honor the life and legacy of Steve Saunders, a man whose work quite literally helped people breathe easier in eastern Kentucky. For 25 years, he served at Apple Red, a legal nonprofit and a nonprofit legal aid organization serving eastern Kentucky, where he stood beside working families across the region when they needed someone in their corner. In 2002, he helped found the Appalachian Citizens Law Center and went on to serve as its director for 17 years, shaping it into a strong advocate for coal miners and their communities. Through his leadership, the center focused on protecting miners' safety, securing benefits for those harmed on the job, and making sure communities were not left to carry the environmental costs of corporate decisions. When black lung disease began rising in Appalachia, Steve was on the front line, standing with miners in their fight for justice and compensation. Over time, that commitment grew beyond individual cases to include mine safety, clean water, land reclamation, and the long-term health of Appalachian communities. Those who worked with him speak of his compassion and dedication to the people he served. He was a determined advocate, but he was also deeply kind, demanding accountability while never losing sight of the humanity of the people he served. Kentucky is a better place because of his service. Miners and their families are safer because of his persistence. The Appalachian region he loved so deeply is stronger because he chose to spend his life standing up for it. I'm fortunate that when he retired, he chose to move to Lexington, which he gave equal love. Today, we expend our deepest sympathy to his wife, his children, his grandchildren, and all who loved him. May they find comfort in knowing that his work made a lasting difference and that his example of courage, integrity, and service will continue to guide us. With that, Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.
Without objection, so ordered. Any other members seeking recognition, motions, petitions, communications, announcements? Seeing none, the next order of business is introduction of new bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 528, Representative Elliott, an act relating to the governance of the Kentucky School for the Deaf. House Bill 529, Representative Elliott, an act relating to the Parole Board. House Bill 530, Representative White, an act relating to permits. House Bill 531, Representative Baumann, an act relating to coordination of refugee assistance. House Bill 532, Representative Moser, an act relating to medicinal hemp products and declaring an emergency. House Resolution 47, Representative Rayburn, a resolution recognizing September 17th through the 23rd, 2026 as Constitution Week in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And House Concurrent Resolution 48, Representative Stevenson, a concurrent resolution establishing the Cemeteries Across Kentucky Task Force.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is a meeting of the Committee on Committees and Rules Committee at the Clerk's desk. Mr. Gentleman from Kraken.
Mr. Speaker, move you, sir, the House would stand in recess for a meeting of the Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee at the Clerk's desk.
Without objection, the House will stand in recess for a meeting of the Committee on Committees and Rules Committee at the Clerk's desk. House come to order. Next order of business is report of the Committee on Committees and Rules Committee. Mr. Clerk, please report.
The Committee on Committees has met and referred the following bills and resolutions: to Economic Development and Workforce Investment, House Bill 472; to Elections, Constitutional Amendments, and Intergovernmental Affairs, House Bill 476; to Families and Children, House Bill 473; to Health Services, House Bills 470, 471, and 475; to the Judiciary, House Bills 468, 477, 478, and 479; to Licensing, Occupations, and Administrative Regulations, House Bill 474; to Primary and Secondary Education, House Bill 469; and to State Government, House Bill 466. The Committee on Committee has reassigned to Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection, House Bill 297 from the Judiciary. The Rules Committee has met and posted the following bills and resolutions to the regular orders for Monday, February 2nd, 2026. House Bills 143, 164, 169, 314, and 398.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Those bills referred by the Committee on Committees shall be considered eligible for consideration and action by the committee at the discretion of the committee chair. Next order of business is the introduction of floor amendments. Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 314 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Lockett.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business is adjournment. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to yield to the gentleman from Wayne to make the adjournment motion.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Wayne.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House shall stand adjourned until 4 p.m. Monday, February the 2nd, Groundhog Day, year of our Lord 2026.
That objection, the House stand adjourned until 4 p.m. Monday, February 2nd, year of our Lord 2026.